Today we will talk about some things that are connected into XRP, XLM, SHX, and Velo that can help explain how there are a ton of interconnections in between all of these. And one of those things is Axelar. It had a huge spike from about 31 cents up to $2.37 in March of 2024, which was a bit after SHX had a huge spike and a bit before Velo had a huge spike as well. And that could possibly be because Axelar is tied not only into SHX and Velo, but also heavily into XRP and XLM. Here is an announcement that how the XRPL taps Axelar in real-world asset cross-chain communication. And here is an example about how it is involved in Stellar as well, where it is called out as one of the major projects on Stellar. Stellar has actually called out Axelar in regards to institutional interoperability after a tweet about Axelar and Deutsche Bank, which also has some pretty interesting ties into SHX, which I will talk about on its own at a different point in time. Here it is specifically talking about Project Guardian and testing compliant asset tokenization applications. Institutions rely on a diverse combination of blockchains, even as they seek connections into public chains. Without interoperability on an open stack, fragmentation can undo the promise of liquidity and access that should come with real-world assets. Axelar is a chain that connects chains. The only open interoperability solution that has customization across its stack with no vendor lock-in and full monitoring and transparency end-to-end on cross-chain paths. And that part right there is also interesting because I have talked about how SHX and Velo can be observed on-chain, acting as bridge assets. So is that in part because of Axelar? I don't really have an answer at this time, but I think that the timing of everything, specifically regarding price action of each of them, is pretty interesting. There is also a staking pool, which has about 64% of the total circulating supply staked, which is somewhere around about $550 million. Here is the Axelar site, and it has a ton of interesting points on it. It has heavy connections into DeFi, real-world asset tokenization, and some pretty huge corporations. Axelar is the network for Web3. Its smart contract support allows anyone to deploy from the cross-chain stack to all chains in under 10 seconds, which can connect with 10 times as many active users as the leading Web3 environment. It can connect into over 60 chains and has been referred to in connection with JPM's Onyx. It's also talked about with Unis DYDX and Cosmos. In terms of enterprise, it is the first blockchain interoperability partner in the Microsoft Azure marketplace. And it also appears to be concentrating on DeFi as well, with a ton of DEXs on here that connect into a ton of chains. But I have found it the most interesting so far because of its connection into enterprise-grade applications. And I've already called out its involvement in Onyx. It's also involved in Providence and MasterCard. And it also has a white paper, and it's not terribly complex, but just for the sake of time, I will probably talk about it at a different time. However, the Axelar network includes a protocol suite and APIs. Its core protocols are its cross-chain gateway and cross-chain transfer, where the gateway protocol is used to connect autonomous blockchain ecosystems and is responsible for routing across them. Its transfer protocol enables application developers to connect dApps on any chain to perform cross-chain requests with APIs. It is at a $520 million market cap at the moment, which is a little bit higher than some projects I've gotten into over the last 6 months or so. But because of the tokenomics, where it has about 728 million in circulation with 1.15 as a total supply at the moment, it appears as if its utility, its proven applications, and its connections into XRP and XLM could imply it has a lot of potential ahead of it.